Okay, we are live, and this is actually believe it or not, my fourth live stream today. So I've never been that active doing live streams before, in a day. Um, so let's see how this works. This is a better time of the day, I believe, for most people. It is almost 8:30 in the evening here in Norway. And it's a bit of a surprise, I guess, that I'm doing live streams at this hour, but hopefully it will be better for most people. Going to get into the topic in a few seconds, but excuse me. Going to get into the topic in a few seconds, but let me know if there is any anything wrong with the sound or image. Can't do anything about my face, but if you can hear me and somewhat see me, then let me know. Perfect, says Carrie. Well, thank you. A Norseman Redbeard, good to see that it's working again with the moderator thing there. Okay. So I just actually read an article in a Norwegian newspaper, because we're having this sort of a debate about what they call fat positivity. Now, I think that's a rubbish term, because we should be positive towards everyone, of course, but we shouldn't be positive towards living an unhealthy lifestyle. Now, of course, how other people live their life, it's not really my business, but I know that for me, I I want to live a healthy life. And I'll tell you straight away that there is no, it's not a big mystery why, for most people, if they get too fat, it's because they eat too much, you know. And I know this with myself. If I have been injured many times, and from training and so on, and I haven't been able to train, I still have an appetite, right? So um, in those when that has happened, I've noticed that I'm gaining a little bit more fat, right? And so it's not a big mystery why people are getting fat. Let's just call it for what it is. Now, um, again, I think that this is a really simple thing. It's very simple, because first of all, as I said, we should be positive towards everyone. It's like I saw this meme somewhere, like it's a photo of a very big, very big man running, and it says something like, "You're still beating the ones lying on the couch." Yeah, or no, sorry, it said, "You should never laugh at people who are like this, because they are beating the ones on the couch," which is very true. And making changes for a better lifestyle, healthier lifestyle, should always be encouraged. Now, the problem I have with the people who call themselves, actually, they call themselves fat activists. The problem I have is that they are trying to sell this lie that you can be just as healthy while you're obese, which is not true. It is not healthy to be obese. And also, let me add that I'm not talking about being a little bit, chubby. Not talking about that. And I think there's the range, the healthy range is probably wider, or wrong choice of word there, bigger. Again, not the best choice of word, but than what we used to think. I don't know, but I'm not talking about people who are active, people who are training, who are exercising, and so on, and still they're a little bit too chubby. Maybe I think that's healthy as well. It's not that I'm not talking about those people. Some would say I'm one of those people, and I know with myself that I am very active. I train a lot. I hike. All this. So not talking about that. I'm talking about the people are who have become so obese, sadly, that they will have trouble walking. They will limit the level of physical activity. They will not want to walk very far. Um, I'm talking about the people who have gotten themselves into such a situation, and they are still saying that this is just as healthy. That's where I have a problem. That's where I have a problem with that, because it is a lie, and it's making people who really should try to love themselves more. And by that I mean, if you love yourself, you should, try to get rid of some of that weight, right? And instead they are selling this very self-destructive lifestyle, and this lie that this is just as healthy, and if there is any problem with it, it's not their fault. It's the society's fault, right? Wolf of Odin says 51 and still look good with my shirt off. that's awesome. um, um, and let me also say that in that article I just read, it said quite incredibly that because of society's negative perception of obese people, obese people get stressed and therefore have a much higher risk of dying. Did you catch that? It's the society's. They wrote that because society have a negative view of obese people, that's what they claim. That's why obese people get stressed and depressed and so on, and that's why they have a higher probability of dying. No, I think actually that it is the obesity itself that is increasing the risk of dying. Call me a conspiracy theorist and crazy and all that, but that's what I think. That's what I think. And Carson, well, I am finally doing a live stream at a better time of the day. Now, Norseman Redbeard says that I have more respect watching a person that knows they are unhealthy and trying to change. To me, that it takes much more determination and discipline than someone maintaining weight. Absolutely, absolutely. And I know powerlifters who have gained a lot of weight intentionally. I gained quite a bit of weight at some point myself because I was put in the weight class above my weight class for the Worlds in 2012, and that was horrible because I had to eat much more than I wanted to, and I weighed in at 112 point something kilos, and I didn't like that much. That was, for me, for some people that's actually a normal weight. You know, if you're a big guy, that tall and so on, that can be a normal weight. But for me, that's much too much, and I didn't like that at all. Um, and when I had done the meet, competed there, I quickly dropped in weight, and that was wonderful. um, let's see. Thanks for the donation, KRW 5,000. That's looks like an awful lot of money, but I don't know what KRW is. um, let's see here. You're eating more workout, so now you're 175 centimeters, 91 kilos, more strong and healthy. And wonderful. Thank you for the donation, by the way. Um, but I just want to share my frustration with this trend that I'm seeing, where it's like they want to normalize being unhealthy, and they want to. What they're saying is that, well, there are so many obese people, so that's normal. Well, that might be true, but just because something unhealthy has become normal, it doesn't mean that we should kind of just accept that. Instead, we should, as a society, try to encourage people to be more active and to stop eating all those carbs. I mean, when I'm seeing, like my people my age who have they sit all day, because they work in an office and so on, and they eat like they are 20 years old, and they are construction workers and run marathons as a hobby as well. And that's how they eat, with lots of carbs. And it's crazy. It is completely crazy. And we shouldn't normalize being unhappy in your own flesh, so to speak. You should be happy in your own skin. That's how. Yeah, sorry. You should be happy and healthy and in your own skin, as they say. Um, and I I can't see how that is possible if you are obese. Again, I'm not talking about having a little bit of extra weight on you. Not talking about that at all. I'm talking about people who have let this go so far that they can't walk in a normal fashion anymore. And as I said, they will limit the amount of physical activity that they do, because pretty much everything hurts, like their knees hurt, and so on and so on. And you know, lots of people have talked about this. Lots of people have talked about this here on YouTube, and it's not, what I'm saying is not very original, but still I wanted to say it because I'm seeing that this is coming to Norway where I live as well now. And it's like we've been looking at other people, oh, those crazy Americans. That's what we hear in Norway. We think, oh, those crazy Americans, look at them. And now it's like it's we have this here as well, you know, and we have people in the public eye calling themselves fat activists. It's like, can you at least call it something else? It's like, what is this? um, and then if you try to say anything like I'm doing now, you're you're being called names, um, you're being called names, you're hateful, you're, No, I'm not hateful. I'm just stating the obvious here, you know. And also, here's another thing. I don't think anyone who is struggling with weight is and who has a level, what's it called? Level head? No, level. So if you're sensible and you have gained some weight, I don't think that you would say that what I'm saying here is hateful. It's not rocket science. It's just a matter of trying to encourage people to be healthier. You know, and nobody's saying that we want to have everyone looking like anorectic models. You know, Uh, that's not what we want. But we want people to live a full life, an active life. Maybe we could even start teaching kids, because we have to start with the kids, the children. We should start talking about nutrition. Um, what's good for your body, not what's politically correct. And we and I'm doing this myself. I eat too much carbs. I do, because it's so, I like the taste of that sweet, jam on a piece of toast and so on. It's a delicious taste in my mind, but it's not good for me. And I'm almost 50, so I'm trying to limit the intake of food like that. It's not really food, it's just, you know it's it's candy on a piece of toast. So, um I'm, again, just trying to say something here about the insanity that we're seeing. um let's see here. Wow, lots of people have joined already. um let's see that there. Wolfo Odin says, "Hit that like button, folks. That would be awesome." Berserker Gang 2019. Good evening to you. Guardian Prepping. Good to see you, as always. Um, and Forever Sci-Fi says, "I've been the leanest and healthiest when either eating keto or full carnivore. If you need a degree in chemistry to figure out what's in it, don't eat it." Well, yeah, you know. um, let's see. Fish Tank says, "I was 17 stone 10 years ago." Here you go with this. What's a stone? It's so. Matthias Treeman, or Pagan Workshop, tried to explain to me what that is. A stone. A stone. There are stones outside, but they have different sizes. Yeah, but anyway, um, you exercised 15 minutes a day for 2 years. If you heard a sound, that's my alarm that says that it's like 40 minutes before the sun goes down, and the vampires come out. Yeah, well, cutting the carbs. Yeah. And Monkey Mongo says, "People who tell unhealthy people they are okay to be that way are only crippling them more in the end." Yes, I think that it's like, if you have a friend who is clearly struggling with obesity, why don't you ask that person, "Would you like to go for a walk?" just a short walk, can we do that? It's like nobody wants to be called fat, so obviously that's not what you should do to help that individual. But what if you go for a walk, or something like that. um, let's see here. Luke and Mom is here. Sophia and let's see. Yeah, I would say when it comes to nutrition, I have kind of come to the conclusion that for most people, unless you have ethical concerns about meat, the healthiest diet is a diet that consists of a lot of meat and fish, some vegetables, some fruit. Now, some people will disagree. It's not a cheap way to eat. It's quite expensive actually, but I believe that for most people that is what is most healthy. It worries me that we're not supposed to eat meat anymore. Now, when it comes to this idea that we're not supposed to eat meat anymore, they're going to replace it by plant-based or fake meat and so on. That's a problem, when it comes to world health. I absolutely believe it's going to lead to obesity, and even a more serious side effect of that is that more people will struggle with mental health issues, because we do know now that if you eat a lot of meat, it it it's good for your mental health, and you can look into that if you want to. um, I don't want to get too personal now, but for me it has helped a lot, and I must admit that I get tired of eating meat every day, and I cheat when it comes to that. So for now I've been not been eating well for almost a month. So I'm going back because I can feel that it's not healthy how I'm eating now, and I'm eating a quite normal Norwegian diet now. Now I'm going back to much more meat, red meat that is, uh, and you get a lot leaner as well. Um, Paolo, good to see you. Good to see you. Snacks for the doggies. Yeah, I will make sure that they get some snacks. Um, and they are having some exciting days now because we have people painting the garage. Actually, we decided because there was so much to paint here, so we hired some people to paint the garage, and the dogs are keeping an eye on them. It's very exciting to them. um, how are you doing, Matthias? Um, Gert van der Veen from the Netherlands. Uh, it's interesting what's happening there now, isn't it? It's a big topic. I won't get into that now, but yeah, I wouldn't like it if someone came to me, and said that, well, you're not allowed to use your land anymore. It's practically not your land anymore. I wouldn't like it. I would get very upset. So, the Nordis is asking, what do you think about intermittent fasting? I haven't tried it myself, but I hear people are saying a lot of good things about it. Mistress Nine says, and switching to keto and intermittent fasting had has me feeling the healthiest I've been in years. There you see. Where are my glasses? Yeah, I'll try to manage without. Alan says, I lost 75 pounds on intermittent fasting. Sandy Klingon in the house says, my greyhounds' names were Mandy, Alexandria, Preston, Sean, and Bill Anastasia. Wonderful names. Love them so much and miss them. Yeah. I think I think that intermittent fasting is it's good when you want to go down in body weight. If you want to go up, maybe it's a little bit more difficult to make it work. But I don't know. Is there anyone here who have tried intermittent fasting to build and go up in weight? And by that I mean, of course, building muscle. Let me know. Pile driver, well, thank you for that. It's not often you get these compliments. So at my age, well, thank you. Paolo says, I've been on the keto war. Is that carnivore or keto? Keto. But anyway, you're feeling great, amazing levels of energy, and getting slimmer. Yeah, I tend to think about it this way. There's a lot of food out there, like wheat, the grains. I believe that we will be healthier without grains. That's my personal opinion. Well, it's not my personal opinion. Lots of people say that we would be healthier without grains. And a lot of people, they don't do well with dairy products. And I'm one of those. And then you're pretty much left with meat, fish, vegetables, and fruit. I believe that vegetables and fruit that you buy in the stores are very often very unhealthy. Unhealthy. Now, why is that? Because it's not the vegetables in themselves that are unhealthy. It's because there are so many toxins on them. But if you can buy organic or grow vegetables yourself, we're doing that, and I can notice a big difference. Big difference. I can eat the vegetables I grow myself, no problem at all. But I get I get an upset stomach with vegetables from the store that are not organic. So there you go. We were not supposed to eat grains, you know. And let's see, walking as well. Yes, walking is, king. It's wonderful, and it is something that almost everyone can do. You know. Okay, Norseman Redbeard, you tried intermittent fasting while trying to add lean muscle and didn't work for you. Um, yeah, that's that's what I'm hearing. Other people are saying as well. Um, Halvard says try un what's it what in English untreated dairy. I don't dare to do that because I have a phobia against bacteria and stuff. um, yeah. So anyway, back to the topic here. I'm not going to make this a long live stream, but I find it troubling and frustrating that it seems like obesity is being normalized. When I see, especially young people who are fat, you know, I'm thinking to myself, there is no reason why this person should be fat. There is no reason for that. And especially, when you're young, you should be active. Well, you should be active all your life, but it's emotionally disturbing actually for me to see young people who are obese. That's the worst, and it's like they don't get to live a full life, and that's tragic. And then they go on the internet and they have people telling them that they are beautiful, they are actually healthy, and if there is anything wrong at all with how if they don't like the way they look and feel, it's not their fault that they gained all that weight. It's some other thing in society. It's not because they eat too much. No, no, that's not. Everything else than that must be the reason. Um, and I can't understand why it's become almost politically incorrect to meet those people with a kind word actually, but that it means being kind to people who have that problem means that you have to be real and honest. You can't continue helping them maintaining that lie. So yeah, you know, I I, I don't know, but also older people, if you there is no excuse, and I looked into the numbers some time ago actually. People are saying that when you get older, your metabolism changes. Yeah, it changes, but not much. The reason why older people gain fat and lose muscle very often is that they stop being active. Um, so you know, the, it, it's almost equally frustrating to hear older people who are saying that, oh, it's because of my age. It's because of my age that I gained weight. No, it really isn't. You know, um, and yeah, I'm. I don't know. Um, I I just wanted to share my frustration on this topic. Um, and there's another variant of this that I just also wanted to mention because I worked with people who wanted to. When I worked as a therapist, part of my some of my clients, they came to me find motivation to live a healthier lifestyle and drop weight. So what I found out, because I mapped, I chart, I put in on a chart everything that they ate, and they would do that as well every day. What I found was kind of surprising, but I'll tell you what it was. People who struggled with their weight, um, it wasn't that they ate so unhealthy. Many of them actually ate healthy food. It was just that they ate too much. That was the common reason, actually. And they would say things like, "Well, I don't understand why I'm overweight, because I I eat healthy food. I eat only healthy food." Well, and then we looked at what they actually ate during the day, and a lot of them, I have to tell you, they ate. If I couldn't eat that much, you know, uh, and calories are calories, and if you get too many calories in your system, you will gain weight, and it will add fat to your physiology, you know. Anyway, and also, and I don't get me wrong, I'm not going to recommend what I'm going to say now, but I read a case study, actually, and a doctor, he wanted to see if he could get good results dropping weight eating only chocolate and candy, I think it was, and Snickers bar and things like that. But he measured the calories. Well, that's don't do that. Don't do that, because that's extremely unhealthy. But did he drop in weight? Yes, he did. Just as much as he would with other systems. So I found that calories are what really matters. But of course, to be healthy, we should eat healthy food now, while eating not too much. So, um, yeah, for the printer says there was a guy who lost weight on a Twinkie only diet. Yeah, maybe other people has done that as well. Um, um, Russell says, I've never saw anyone get fat from too much food. Well, food, when I say food, it's anything that goes down the hair, right? That has calories in it. You know, that's how you gain weight. It's a very simple equation, actually. If you put more in here than you burn off, you will gain weight. Um, so, um, the Liver King. Yeah, well, I've seen that. It's funny. And I would say, no, don't check out that guy, because he doesn't look like that because he's eating meat and liver and stuff. That's not the reason. It's quite obvious, right? Um, Nick says, no one gets fat on eating too much protein. Well, you can, yeah. If you eat too much calories, doesn't matter really what it is, you will get fat. It's much more difficult to do that if you eat too much protein, because of the chemical process that goes on when you digest protein. It's much different from when you digest carbs, right? But it is possible, you know. Um, it's but it would be very rare. I would say it's physically possible. Let's see here. Okay. Yes, it is much harder. The problem, is the carbs, and it's obvious. It's obvious. We are eating an unnatural amount of carbs. It's much, much too much. And when you do that, the body will store that as fat. Um, you know, let's see here. Oh, Wolf Odin says, listen to your body and see what foods do what. Everybody is different. Yes, yes, absolutely. And there is also the ethical concerns here. I have a lot of respect for people who are vegetarians or vegans if they do that if they do that from an ethical um, stance. It's their ethics that are the reason. Um, when they say that it's healthier, I disagree because it's not. But it is, I absolutely respect that. And there are, some people do well with grain, some people do well with dairy products, some people just don't like meat. I've met some of those as well, and it would be wrong to force yourself to eat something that you just don't like. Uh, you know, um, uh, I don't know. Okay, we got okay. Slipped through the moderators here. Slipped past the moderators. So, but anyway, again, I wish that these people who call themselves fat activists and who are trying to sell this lie that if you are obese, it's not your fault. Well, no, that doesn't really matter about fault. It doesn't. Calories matter. But anyway, they're trying to sell this lie that, well, you should just remain like this. It's better. It's just as healthy. I mean, we need to speak up against that. Um, and I don't want anyone to feel bad about themselves. But I think that at the end of the day, if you are in that situation and you live with obesity, you know that it's not healthy and you know it's not good for you. Um, and living on a lie it's a lie. It's not going to help you, you know. And I truly believe that everyone, everyone can drop weight, become healthier, and have a much better life. I think it's just a matter of starting and getting some healthy habits. You know, again, it's not rocket science. It's quite simple. Well, it's difficult to do for some people, but it becomes even more difficult when we have this fat positivity movement. Again, you should be positive about yourself, but if you are obese, that should mean that you should do the best you can to drop weight, you know. And if that is hateful, I I don't know what to say. Um, let's see now. um, uh, Panda Moanium says, I'm a big guy, I play rugby. Well, that's my excuse. So you have to stop people, right? uh, so uh, yeah, there's a lot of processing, not only with the grains, but also with a lot of the foods that the cheap food, especially, in the stores, um, and having that mindset. No, sorry, that diet that I just talked about, and that I will and encourage people to try for a while. Meat, fish, some vegetables, and a little fruit as well. Don't go crazy with the fruit. There's a lot of sugar in it. If you can try that, it's probably at least worth trying. You know, Not saying you should only eat that, but that should be the main components of your diet. It's a lot more healthy. You know. Um, yeah. Okay. Michelle says it's very difficult to enjoy the outdoors in nature and hiking if one is obese. Absolutely. Yeah, I imagine that can be a problem. But you know, I heard a story about one guy who he was very obese and he could, but he decided he wanted to change and become healthier. So he started by walking down to his mailbox, right, and back up to his house. That probably wasn't very far. But then next day he walked a few steps longer, and the next day he walked even a few more steps, and it continued like that. And at the end, he was running marathons, and he had dropped a lot in weight. You know. um, let's see. Wolf Odin is talking about that we need to we let's here we need to get healthy because we are probably entering some hard times. Um, yeah, so I agree. You know, and paleo, of course, it's a. I'm sure you all know what that is. It's if you can do that, it's absolutely very healthy. Um, uh, Nick says I'm addicted to lifting weights and hiking, so I'm usually in shape. Yeah, well, that combination is the best combination, if you ask me. Absolutely, yeah. Uh, Chad says I live in the US and obesity here is out of control. Absolutely disgusting. Well, I I'll tell you what. When I was a boy, we had a TV show or TV program that basically there was some journalist who traveled to the USA and he visited parts of USA and they were filming, and we noticed that there were a lot of very fat people there. And I have to admit, I was just a child at the time, but I have to admit, we did laugh because it was always, they were at Disney World and so on, and they were filming. They must have done this intentionally. The camera was at a certain height, and they were filming these people walking, and the middle part of their body from behind, so to speak, like huge, big. Um, that was a little bit funny, and it's like for us, I had never seen people like that before, but now it's not uncommon to see here. That has happened during the last 20 to 30 years, you know. So something's going on, and yeah. Yeah, I think that I think that it's when I went to I've been to the USA twice, and the food is so sweet. There's must be a lot more sugar in the food there. Uh, we went to Planet Hollywood many years ago. Um, I think that was in New York. Well, the food was great, but the dessert was so sweet, and the cake, like a gigantic piece of cake. Um, yeah. Let's see here. When I'm doing this, it's just I'm not insane. Hopefully, it's when my dog scratches herself. She's over there now, and she did a little while ago. You will have dog hair floating around in the room, and I'm trying to prevent. When I see one, I'm trying to catch it to prevent it from ending up in the keyboard. You see. Yeah. So the Nordish says I get sick in my stomach when I hear talk about sugar or cake. Yeah, well, I can tell you that sometimes when there's been like a birthday party here, something like that, then there is cake, leftover cake. I was much worse at this um, a few years ago, but if there was leftover cake, I would take a piece of cake and eat it the day after, and so on. And I always felt, why did I do that? It doesn't really taste that. It tastes well for a few seconds, and then it's like a big something in your stomach lying there, and it doesn't feel like healthy at all, and it's just not good for the system. So I don't do that anymore. Garth 3 is asking if I can tell you of my diet. Yeah, I can do that. It's not very complicated, actually. I I'm not on a diet, but I try to think like this: the main components should be meat, red meat, and I also eat bacon for breakfast, and I will eat only bacon when I eat bacon. Now, for a month or so, I've been cheating on my diet, to be honest with you, and that's not so good. Um, and I don't eat raw meat. I don't like that. Um, so red meat, bacon. I don't eat. I hardly eat vegetables or fruit. I do drink some sugary drinks. I know I shouldn't, but I do. And when I get hungry, I eat some bread. I can only eat toast with, no. I can't eat. Well, I'm the kind of bread that has a lot of fiber in it. I can't eat that. And I try to avoid eggs because nothing wrong with eggs, but I can't eat eggs. So, um, the white bread that I do eat is just because I get hungry and I can't. It's not great food, but I can't financially in Norway now, especially now when they have increased the prices of red meat even more. It's we're talking about an incredibly expensive diet. So yeah, Mr. Sorpos, I do eat some potatoes as well. I do eat some potatoes. Never boiled potatoes. I don't like that so much. But yeah, a lot of red meat, and I feel much better, more energized, so on when I eat a lot of red meat. And yeah, eggs are great if you don't have a problem with eggs. Let's see here. Okay. No cholesterol issues, no deficiency in any vitamins or minerals, nothing like that. No. So okay, but I'm going to stop the live stream now, and it's been almost an hour. I want to thank you all for joining. I can't promise to do live streams as often as I've done today, but I'll do my best. This channel, it's my second channel. It would be awesome, I must admit. It would be awesome to see it going past 100,000 subscribers. Maybe the content needs to be better. I don't know, but that would be awesome. Okay. Vingul, thanks a lot there. Okay, I have to go now, and thank you all for joining and for being part of this community. Okay, have a nice day, and we'll talk later. Bye.